Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic and another intriguing puzzle tonight. First of all, a very quick apology. Yesterday, I think there was one rule that wasn't entirely clear, and it was a bit surprising to me because I thought we'd made it reasonably clear, but there was an arrow which ended in two circles, two arrows ending in the same circle, and they could have summed to different digits that then both got rounded to 5 in that puzzle. My apologies. We do actually, to your amazement, we spend quite a lot of time trying to make sure the rules of the puzzle are as clear as possible. We do also have to bear in mind the competing claims of succinctness, trying to keep the rule set down to something we can show on the screen, and that militates against quite a lot of puzzles with lots of variant rules in them. And it's one of the things we do actually work quite hard on, but of course what is clear to one person is not clear to another sometimes, and unfortunately that's the kind of problem we run into. Now, notwithstanding all that, I'm having a go at a puzzle with a quite strange rule set today, and let's hope it's explained as clearly as possible. Now, I'll get to that in a moment. This has been sent in by Rob K, and Simon did one of his puzzles on the channel a few weeks ago, and he's very grateful, and he says this one's been inspired by our Arrows app, which is, I think, to some extent the app that has pleased the aficionados of the channel the most. So do consider buying it. It's on the link under the description field with all the rest of the apps, and with the Patreon site where we will soon be launching Jovial's kind of Sudoku relay, and there's a very special prize that one of our viewers is creating for the winner of that puzzle hunt, who will be drawn from a hat by a certain deadline. Now, it's all, by the way, Jovial's hunt is, or relay is really interesting, I think, because all the puzzles are pretty approachable. They genuinely are puzzles that anybody can have a go at, and we will encourage everybody to give it a try. Now, all of that said, what is going on here? What has Rob K done in his Broken Arrows Sudoku? Well, normal Sudoku rules apply. That's fair enough. Digits on an arrow sum to the number in the connected circle. Now, that does happen a few times. There's one here where those two digits sum into both of those circles. So they must be the same number, I suppose. But there are a number of disconnected arrows that don't appear to have a circle, and their circles are all gathered in this section. So there's 9 of those circles. I think there are 9 disconnected arrows, and basically 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 looks right. Basically, each circle should be connected to an arrow, i.e. that sum of those 3 digits will be one of these 9 circles, and so on. Now, the way that Rob expressed this is the number of unattached circles containing any given digit is the same as the number of arrows that sum to that digit. So, put more simply, I think what that means is that the occupants of these 9 cells are the sums of the 9 unconnected arrows. That's how we've got to look at it. So do give it a try on the link under the video, and wrap your head around it if you can. I'm going to give it a go on the channel now. Let's get cracking. And then, I mean, the interesting thing is that so many of these circles are in the same box. So those 8 have to be different. Yeah, okay, and that one can be repeated. But what you can see about all of these disconnected arrows, let's just highlight them all. Yeah, and I'm seeing 2 things about them there. Right, the 2 things I'm seeing is that none of them are 1 cell long. So even though these 2, for instance, could both be 1s, you could have an arrow that added up to as little as 2, but you can't have an arrow that adds up to only 1. And therefore this digit, which is the only one not in a circle in box 8, that has to be a 1. Then one of these is obviously going to be a 2, and therefore one of these 4 arrows is going to be a double 1 pair. What I also noticed down here is that we've got 2 arrows occupying 5 cells each in boxes 7 and 9. So the minimum value of 5 different Sudoku cells is 15. So in each case, these 2 arrows have to add up to 15. So they are, I was going to say there's 6, 7, 8, and 9, but of course this circle can be repeated somewhere here. So we've got one circle that can be repeated. Oh, look, this dips into box 9 as well. This is a bit like Heart of Gold from the recent Hitchhiker's Guide hunt. I think we can come up with a minimum value for these arrows. So 15 over here, 1 to 5. Then we've got 6 arrow cells in box 9. That adds up to a minimum of 21. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6. So we're up to 36, and then 2 cells in box 6 is 39. And this represents the total of 5 circles, 5 unconnected circles. So assuming we're using that one and 4 out of this box, the 4 in the box can add up to a maximum of 30, 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6, plus 9 in the other box, and that's the 39, which is the minimum value of those arrows as well. So that's got to be what we're doing. We've got a 9 there, and then the 4 arrows in here that are 6, 8, 7, and 9 are the totals of, along with that 9, are the totals of these arrows. So 2 of them add up to 9, 1 to 8, 1 to 7, and 1 to 6. But to keep this total down, that is a 1, 2 pair. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 set. So we can fill in 7, 8, and 9 there. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 set. So the others here are 6, 7, 8, and 9. And we've got a real start now. This can't be a 6, and it can't be adding a 9. The maximum that cell can be is a 3 to link those 2 cells into that total. Okay, now what else can we? That's 1 and 2, so this takes it up to 6, 7, 8, or 9. So that's 3, 4, 5, or 6, which was fairly obvious actually. Now what else? Okay, those can't be 1 obviously, nor can these. Not sure there's much point filling in all these candidates, but it's the sort of thing I do. This is 7, 8, or 9, and these 2 have to be at least 3. That can't involve a 1. But it adds up to no more than 8. It's not that helpful. Oh, I see, we've got a 2, 3, 4, 5 quad in row 8. So these are from 6, 7, 8, 9, and definitely include 6. Oh, where's the 6 in this box? Oh, of course. No, hang on, not of course. Not of course, because I have not completed this box correctly. So we will go back and rethink that. Because when I wrote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on those, I forgot that 6 could be included. It doesn't have to be here at all. Oh, hang on though. These are 9, 8, 7, 6, and 9. What does that do? This group adds up to 24. It could include 2 9s and a 6. Yeah, actually, I don't know. Maybe 6 is over here. So I don't have that 2, 3, 4, 5 quad in row 8 that I was thinking I had for a moment. What do we do? Maybe we start thinking about where the double 1 arrow is. And there's got to be... Right, and we've used up 9 twice, 8, 7, and 6 as the totals for these arrows. So the totals for these arrows are 5, 4, 3, and 2, these sort of floating arrows. So one of them is 1 and 1. One of them is 1 and 2. Does the 4... I don't know. Wherever the 1 and 1 goes, say it was there, the 1 and 2 would have to be in rows 3 and 4 to not clash with the 1. I don't know whether the 4 can be a 2 and 2 or it has to be a 1 and 3. No, I don't think that's clear. We've got 1 and 2 pointing at that cell. So this cell is either 3 or 4. Given that these arrows have to add up to 5, 4, 3 or 2, that's a 1 or a 2. And this one is adding up to 5 or 4. Now the 2 arrow and the 3 arrow have to be in a different pair of rows. So this has to either be a 2 arrow or a 3 arrow. Yeah, that's right. Now, is it possible still for that to be 1 and 1? Yes, it is. Then you get 2, 1, 2 and 3. And then this would be 2 and 2, and that is possible. No, that can't be a 2. This cell is also 3 or 4. And this is 1 or 2. And those are the 4 and 5 arrows. This is either a 2 or 3 arrow, and so is this. So these 4 cells add up to 5. They're the 2 and 3 arrow, and those two have to be a 1 and 2. So the ones on the ends are 1s. And that makes this a 2. This has to be a 3, because 5's the maximum. Now this can be a 1 and 3. That has to be a 2, and that has to be a 1. And there we are. We've got the 2 arrow, the 3 arrow, the 4 arrow, and the 5 arrow. Not that we know anywhere where they go here, but we know that this is a group of 2 to 9. So that must look down a bit. So those can't include a 1. These can't include a 3. That can't include a 3. That can't be a 1, and that's getting quite interesting, because now this can't be an 8, and this can't be a 7, and there's only 1 degree of freedom, as it were, on that arrow. Those can't include a 2. That can't be a 1. So there's a 1 in one of those 2 cells. There's only one place for a 1 down here. It can't be, yes, that is a 1. Right, and that fixes 1 over here. Ooh, weird. That 1-2 pair's not actually resolved, is it? There's a 1 in one of these cells as well. So we've got a little X-wing of 1s remaining. Now, I'm sure... Okay, this arrow can't add up to 6. This arrow doesn't, obviously. This could. Actually, this could as well. And that could. Okay, that's not the way to go about this. That can't be a 3 anymore. 3 has gone in this box, so that is a 4-5 pair, adding up to a 9 there. That's on one of the regular arrows, not one of the disconnected arrows. But it takes 9 out of that cell and means 9 is definitely in one of these 2. I have a feeling it's going to be there, but no proof of that. So the other cells in box 6 are 6, 7, 8, and 9. This is very clever stuff, actually. Now, what can this be? That can't be a 1, 2, or 3, and nor can that. They don't have to be different, but the most they can add up to is 9. So it's either a 4-4 pair or a 4-5. Is it going to be the same here? No. Both of these can be 3. Well, they can't both be 3s because they're in the same row, but so they add up to at least 7. They can't be 1 or 2. And actually, one of those is a 4, or both. but that means that can't be a 4. So that is 3, 5, or 6. This is 3, 4, 5, or 6. And these circles, which are the same number because they're adding the same 2 arrow cells, are 7, 8, or 9. And they're replicated here. So that can't be a 6 anymore. Now 6 in this box is in one of those 2 positions, so that's not a 6. These are 7 or 8. They can't be 9, and that means there is a 3 on one of those 2 cells, and not a 6. Ooh. So now we've got a 3, 4, 5 triple in the row. That can be 6, 7, or 8. That can be 6, 7, or 8. Actually, I'll come back to that. It can't. 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's only 2 positions for 9 in the row. Now, I say that can't be an 8 because this can't be a 1. So that is 6 or 7. This can't be a 1. So it's 6, 2. 6 plus 2 make 8. And that's a regular circle. So it doesn't affect this group. But we can take 6 out of those cells. 6, 2, 8, 9, 1. Now, this can't be a 3. I feel like there's restrictions here. So 8 and 9 can't be in those cells. So they must be in these 2. So that's not a 7. 8 and 9 are in those 2 cells. Now there's an 8-9 pair there. So this has become a 7. Brilliant. Ooh, not a 2, a 7. So this is a 3-4 pair to add up to 7. That is a 5, which means that's a 4, that's a 9. That fixes the 8 and 9, and we are running. This is now an 8. That's a 7. So that's not a 7. This is not a 4 or a 7. That's a 5. We've suddenly finished box 2 out of nowhere. That feels quite peculiar. We can finish off row 2. Got a 4, 6, 8 triple to go in up there. That one can't be 8 because I've got a 7, 8 pair. 1, 7, 2. We've got 3, 5, 9 up here. Don't know how they go together. Now, 1, 4, 7. That 7 makes this a 6. Which doesn't resolve the degree of freedom, but it stops that being a 6. This can't be an 8 now. Perfect. So that's a 7. Now we've got an 8-9 pair. And that can't be 9. 2, 3, and 5 to place in the column. Ooh, and I haven't looked at this arrow at all. So this cell can't be 1, 2, or 3. So let's fill in 4, 5, 6 as possibilities, just for now. This can't be as much as 9 or 8, so we'll fill in 7 and 6. So 6 is not possible there. 5 is not possible here. And then I run out of steam. Those can't have a 7. In fact, the 7 in this box can't be in any of those 3, and that's not a 9 either. So in fact, 7 goes there. Oops, 7 goes there. 9 goes there. And we're left with a 6, 8 pair. That can't be 5. So this arrow adds up to... We haven't really done these arrows yet. That arrow adds up to 7 or 9. This one... 7, 8, or 9. Remember, 2 of these arrows are going to add up to 9. In fact, we can nearly fill the 9 in. It's in one of those 2 cells. But that's not really... 6 is looking across there. Perfect. So this is the 7 arrow. And 4 can't appear in any of those. That can't be 2. Well, this can't go more than 9. So it's got a 2 or a 3 at the top there. 4, 1, 2, 9, 5, 3. This is now a 6. This puzzle really is interacting in strange ways that I wasn't expecting. but all the better for that. This is likely, I don't know, it could be one of the 9 arrows, but we don't know. This is now a 2, 3, 4, 5 group. Okay, so these arrows, actually they've always added up to 15. That's not really, but that's a 7. So we've used the 7 arrow. So these have to be a 6 and a 9 arrow over here. They can't be another 7 and an 8 arrow. So we've used a 7, a 6 and a 9. These two add up to 9 and 8. I suppose I could have worked that out from the numbers. Oh, this is a naked single 3. Let's get back on solid ground, and we can put 4 in the middle column there. That's not a 4. Ah, that 3 sees this cell is a 2. That doesn't resolve whether it's a 9 or an 8. That 2 doesn't even look up the grid. So we've got 5 there, 8 there. That 5 sees this as a 4, and this is now seeing a 7. So that's a 6. This is 2 to make up the numbers. That's a 3. This is a 9. That's an 8. That fixes 7 and 8 over here. And that doesn't resolve any of our arrows down there. 9 though we can place. 2 we can place in this box, and 7 and 6. So suddenly box 8 is finished with no great surprises. 5, 3, 1 there. 7 to finish box 5. The 1 and 2 pair is resolved. The 4, 5 pair isn't. The 6, 8 pair is. That fixes 4 and 8. That fixes the 5 and 4 pair. Now this is a 5. That arrow makes 8. This one makes 9. That's what we expected. This is a 5. This is a 2. And now I have to remember that these arrows were also a 6 and a 9 arrow. So that is a 4. And this is a 3. It's a 1, 3, 2, making 6. Excellent. So we can fill in these numbers at the top. 5, 3, 9. 5 and 4 and 5 and 6, 8, 9 to finish the puzzle suddenly. That is a lovely idea from Rob. I mean, what an interesting puzzle. I mean, I found the idea a little confusing at first with these floating arrows and circles, but in the end, that's really clever, the way that that all knits together into a sort of seamless whole. I love it. So great stuff from Rob K. Well done if you had a go at that and got through it. I thought there was some really lovely logic in it. Do think about giving our arrow app a try. I mean, there's nothing quite that outre in it, but there are some really lovely puzzles, especially some of the amazing guest setter ones. But that's maybe for another day. Thank you so much for joining us on the channel, as always, and hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.